Good evening, everybody. So, friends, we are here once again today on the finale episode. Today, we have the Law and Policy Series 2021. We have reached the finale day. Today is the seventh episode, and we have legal luminaries with us here today again to speak. So, as you all know, we had totally 14 speakers, including today, as well as we had including today's 7 episodes, and we have covered 11 topics. So, all of them were very interesting, knowledgeable, learning, and we got very good feedback from all our friends and advocates, whoever were there. And as you all know, it is there on the YouTube. I would request all of you all do go on the YouTube and subscribe it. Also, we will be having in the end of the session question answers. So please go on the chat box, give your comments if you like, or whatever queries you have. Ask the questions. Our legal luminaries, our advocates are here to answer your queries. So please don't hesitate. So now we have with us our Honorable Chairman, Advocate Asif Ji Kurezi with us, who is going to give you all a warm welcome on the finale day and inaugurate our program of finale day. As you all know, he is a member of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa and former chairman of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa and our MPCC chairman, legal, human rights and RTI. And it is under his leadership that it was possible for us to have this lovely journey of episodes that we had. He is doing a lot for our legal department, human rights, as well as RTI department. We are over all over Maharashtra. Lot of advocates and other members are there all over Maharashtra, and still we are working on it, on the legal awareness, on the legal aids, and we all advocates have got this wonderful platform of MPCC legal department. So we are really grateful to him. Today we take the opportunity to extend our gratitude to our chairman, Advocate Asif Ji Kurezi. He has almost dedicated and shown his devotion towards this department for almost 5 years. It's just a month ahead, and he'll be completing his 5 years. So in advance, we congratulate him. Also, we today on this finale day, we would like to our leaderships, Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji. We would like to show our gratitude to her, as well as our leaderships, our Honorable Rahul ji Gandhi and our MPCC President Nana Patole ji, as well as our ministers who are there, Ashok Chavan ji, Balasaheb Thorat, Amit Deshmukh. All of these are leaders under whose leadership we have been really got the opportunity, their guidance and support to do a lot of work in our legal department. With these few words, I would like to welcome our Honorable Chairman Asif Ji Kurezi to please give his welcome speech today on the finale day episode number 7 of Law and Policy Series 2021. Over to you, Honorable Chairperson.
थैंक यू गौरी मैडम। आज मैं समझता हूँ कि आज फाइनल डे है हमारा एपिसोड का एंड पॉलिसी टॉक 7। इट्स अ 7 सीरीज और 6 सीरीज में जो हमारे स्पीकर्स हैं उन्होंने हम लोगों को बहुत अच्छा गाइड किया और इसका बेनिफिट हम सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को मिला, सभी एमपीसीसी ऑफिस बेरर्स को मिला। और आज भी हम दो जो होने वाले अभी एपिसोड में जो बोलने वाले हैं लेबर लॉ के ऊपर, हमारे अशोक जी शेट्टी जो हमारे प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के लीगल डिपार्टमेंट के वाइस चेयरमैन हैं, और साथ ही जितेंद्र जादवानी जी जो आज रेरा पर बोलने वाले हैं। मैं समझता हूँ ये हमारे सभी के लिए फायदेमंद रहेगा आगे के लिए, और ये जो भी हमें गाइडेंस देंगे ये हमें हमारे बेनिफिट हमको बहुत बेनिफिट मिलेगा, इससे हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को बेनिफिट मिलेगा। और आज तक जो भी एपिसोड हुए हैं जिसमें 14 स्पीकर्स है जिन्होंने हमें गाइड किया, जिन्होंने बोला हर टॉपिक्स पर, मैं उनका भी दिल की गहराइयों से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। अभी मैं हमारे जो आज के स्पीकर है मिस्टर अशोक शेट्टी जो सीनियर काउंसिल है, हमारे वाइस चेयरमैन हैं एमपीसीसी लीगल डिपार्टमेंट के, मैं उनका दिल की गहराइयों से स्वागत करता हूँ। आज वे लेबर लॉ पर बोलने वाले हैं। मैं समझता हूँ लेबर लॉ से हम तो मुझे तो लेबर लॉ के बारे में उतना मालूम नहीं है, शायद आज हमें कुछ लेबर लॉ के बारे में भी सीखने को मिलेगा, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट प्रैक्टिसिंग इन दैट साइड। और सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट के बारे में भी कुछ बोलने वाले, ऐसा सुना है मैंने अशोक जी शेट्टी से, तो मैं उनका स्वागत करता हूँ। और साथ ही साथ जितेंद्र जो भोपाल से आए हैं, जो हमें अपना कीमती समय दे रहे हैं एक अच्छे टॉपिक पर, रेरा टॉपिक पर। इसके पहले जितेंद्र जी, हमने भी एक रेरा पर एक सेमिनार रखा हुआ था बॉम्बे में, उसमें भी बहुत से लोगों ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, बहुत अच्छा सेमिनार रहा। इसमें भी हमें आपसे बहुत फायदा मिलेगा, हमें कुछ सीखने मिलेगा, ऐसी मैं अपेक्षा रखता हूँ। और आपका भी इस मंच से, एमपीसीसी लीगल डिपार्टमेंट की ओर से मैं दोनों स्पीकर्स का दिल की गहराइयों से स्वागत करता हूँ। और जितने पार्टिसिपेंट्स आज यहाँ पर आए हुए हैं, मैं उनका भी, क्योंकि मैं समझता हूँ आज का जो एपिसोड है वो फाइनल एपिसोड है। इसके बाद में हम सोचेंगे, हम डिसाइड करेंगे कि और कंटिन्यू करना है या नहीं करना है। लेकिन लुकिंग टू द सिचुएशन, अभी सात एपिसोड तो हो चुके हैं, आज का हम लोगों ने फाइनल रखा हुआ है। मैं आप दोनों का दिल की गहराइयों से स्वागत करता हूँ, साथ ही साथ सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स का, सभी ऑफिस बेरर का इस वेबिनार, जूम वेबिनार में आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूँ। धन्यवाद, जय हिंद। इसी के साथ ही मैं इस वेबिनार को इनॉग्रेट करता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
शुक्रिया आसिफ कुरैशी जी, हमारे चेयरमैन। अभी सर हम कुछ ग्लांसेस देखेंगे जो काफी लोगों ने मिस किया होगा, जो हमारे जितने भी 6 सीरीज आगे हो गए, सीरीज हो गए, इसका एक वीडियो बनाए हैं। तो एक रोहित जी, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज शो अस द ग्लांसेस ऑफ आवर अर्लियर एपिसोड्स। ये हमारा लॉ एंड पॉलिसी सीरीज 2021 which was organized by me, and here we had Raghavan Sarthi ji, we had Honorable Ujjwal Anand Sharma from Delhi, law and lawman and white, and Raghavan ji is our vice president. So we have a committee also along with us working. We have our best wishes from our Vivek Tankha ji, always our AICC president. Under his leadership, we are having here Advocate Raj Kumari. She is there from Nagpur. We have Advocate Nirmala Samant, our former mayor of Mumbai. So they all spoke on women topics. We had here Honorable Sanjay Asher from Crawford Valley. Then we had Honorable Simran Ahuja, celebrity Miss India. She spoke on cultural laws. So we had different topics, governance. We had this young gentlemen here, Advocate Harshul Savla and Jayesh Gurnani from Indore. Today also we have a speaker from Bhopal on different topics, on our topics like elections, topic like development, concept laws. We had our Honorable Salman Khurshid ji, our former external minister and senior advocate High Court. Honorable Justice Abhay Tipse, former advocate High Court. So such great luminaries we had in our platform giving us the lecture. Here we had this young gentlemen, young ladies, solicitor Sanjukta, our Asif Qurezi's son, Amir Asif Qureshi. They spoke very well last time on data protection law in India, which is so important. And as we are on social media day to day, day one. So today we have with us Senior Advocate Ashok Shetty and Senior Advocate Jitendra Jadwani. And now we are all awaiting to hear them very, very eagerly. So, may I take this opportunity now to introduce briefly our legal luminaries, our legend, Senior Advocate Ashok D. Shetty, a senior counsel for Government of India in the Bombay High Court and a notary public for the last 10 years. After his 7-year stint as an HR professional first and Union Bank of India and then with Tata Consultancy TCS, he set up his legal practice in 1982 as an advocate, now with a standing of over 38 years in the Bombay High Court and the Supreme Court of India, specializing in labor and service law. He graduated with a first class degree with science that is BSc honors in 1972, a law graduate from Bombay University. He also qualified as an international graduate in training and trainers from the JC's International Training Institute of USA. Friends, he was invited to speak on employment law in India at the Regional Law Summit in Singapore in 2006 and again in 2007. He also participated at international conferences and conventions in Japan, Thailand, Philippines, Singapore, Africa, Australia, UK, USA, that is almost the entire world. And also, he has spoken on topics all like global citizens, environmental and economic development. He has attended symposiums on social action, litigation at the Vigyan Bhavan in Delhi in 1984. But what is very important is he was elected as the first chairman of the Bombay University Students' Council in 1975 and became the first ever student representative of the University Senate, was an elected member of the Bombay University Senate for a 6 year term. 1981-87 is so much commendable. Was the National Executive Committee member and General Legal Counsel of Indian Junior Chambers for 4 consecutive terms from 88 to 91. Friends, he's also good in debating and sports, and he has captained the college football team in 1972. A past president of Bombay Bunds Association and Bunds Law Forum. So lots more on for his credit. He has been an assistant governor of the Rotary International in 2017-18. Presently, he is the chairman in the advisory council of number of colleges in Mumbai and New Mumbai. So with these few words, it gives me a great honor and privilege to present to you none other than our own MPCC Vice President, our own Senior Advocate of Bombay High Court, Ashok D. Shetty. Sir, with great honor, I invite you, sir, to give your talk.
Thank you very much, Gauri. And
Thank you, sir.
I think we'll start right away. Well, the topic that is there is a vast topic, and I do not wish to go into greater detail as far as labor law is concerned. I'll just, as they say, jalak, just a glimpse of the labor law I would like to touch upon so that people know that there is something like a law. And in fact, when we studied the law itself, we had our labor lawyer, one was the Commissioner of Labor, who came and said, I don't want you to know all the labor laws by heart, section by section. All you should know is that there is a law on the subject, and you go to the library, pick up that book and read it. So today we are just going to touch upon the various aspects of labor, the various topics that are there, so that we will know, okay, if there is if something happens, there is a law on the subject. That's about all. So can we start with this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, just an overview, the labor laws applicable to different units. Now, these are the topics that I will be just touching upon. Termination of employees, outsourcing and VRS are two of the main important topics that are there as far as labor is concerned. Now, this is just a brief overview of what are the different types of law. One is the Employment Regulation Acts, Industrial Disputes Act, Contract Labor, Trade Unions, Factories Act, Industrial Employment Standing Orders. Then on the Social Security side, we have Payment of Gratuity Act, Maternity Benefit, ESI Act, EPF, Employee Provident Fund, and Apprenticeship Act. Then Wage Regulation Act are payment of wages, payment of bonus. There are actually 40 labor legislations which if a labor lawyer who has to practice has to look into. But these are about generally the main acts that are there. Now, the relevant acts are, as I said, Maharashtra Shop and, as far as we are concerned, Maharashtra Shop and Establishment Act. Now, every state has its own Shop and Establishments Act, and it has its, they have regulation of employment in those shops. Minimum wages, payment of wages. Now, going straight to the first topic, that is the Provident Fund Act. All of you are aware that workers require Provident Fund at the time of their retirement for the benefit of their family and dependents. And that provides for compulsory provident fund which the employer has to pay. And this is now the wage limit. Now, this is coverable, applicable to all those employees who have 15,000 or more. Now, suppose you have an establishment which has at least about, where you have to look at an establishment which has 20 or more, immediately the Provident Fund Act applies. and it applies from day one. Formerly there was 90 days and 120 days, but now it applies from day one. And the wage limit is 15,000. If anybody is getting more than 15,000, then he is not covered. But if it is less than 15,000, and if there are 20 or more persons, as I said, that employing 20 or more persons, not labor. If there are 20 or more persons employed, then it is coverable. Now here it is actually 10%, but the government can make it 12% in certain industries. So now equal contribution from an employer as well as employee. So 12% from the employer, 12% from the employee. And an important thing is the provident fund of an employee cannot be attached even against a court decree. So the employee is guaranteed that he will get his provident fund at the end of the day. Now, on the ground, realities are different. They get a lot of problem getting it back, but ultimately that's it. Now, last year, of course, there was an Atma Bharat package, a reduction in provident fund contribution from 12% to 10%. So that was the amount that was reduced, just 2%. Did not make much of a difference, but then it was showcased and packaged in such a way that people will get a good benefit, but it didn't happen. So that was to tide over the immediate liquidity crisis to some extent, just like how they did for TDS, they did also for Provident Fund. Now there are penal consequences. In case you don't pay, now the employer does not pay Provident Fund or does not cover, then there is damages, interest, damage 100%. Now if the 100 rupees is to be paid, another 100 will be by way of damages plus 6% as interest. Now, supposing you deduct from an employee provident fund and don't deposit, you can be arrested immediately. So therefore, it's just like any other government due. Like TDS, if you deduct and don't deposit within a particular time frame, straight away you can be arrested. Similarly, in the case of provident fund, because it is supposed to go into the, it is supposed to have misappropriated that money by deducting and keeping it with you. Now, then we have the Maharashtra Labour Welfare Fund. It's a small thing. We did not detain ourselves with that. Then we have employee state insurance. It's akin. Now, for instance, it's an act to provide certain benefits to employees in case of sickness, maternity, employment injury, and other things. And there are different types of illnesses which are there. Now, this is applicable to factories using power with 10 or more persons and to hotels and shops 20 or more. Now, it is being reduced to 10 for shops and establishments. Now, with effect from 1, 10, 20, it has been reduced to 10. So that workplace, like shops are defined where every shop, whether 10 or more, then it is covered. Now this is almost like now the minimal limit is 21,000. Unlike Provident Fund, this is 21,000. And here there are 20 or more persons, whereas in PF it is 20 or more persons. Here it is not persons, it is 20 or more workmen. That's the difference. Now, again, this is to whom it is applicable. Remember, only 21,000 and more than you are not covered. 21,000 and less employees are covered, and the number of employees is 20. So just whenever someone asks you whether I am covered by ESI, yes. If there are 20 or more people and the salary is 21,000, you are covered. After that, you have prohibitions. The same thing as far as PF is concerned, or the different types of benefit. If a person falls sick for 91 days, he will get benefit from the ESI. Maternity benefit also is given. Then if a person gets accident, he also gets. The dependents of the family get. Medical treatment for self in ESI hospitals. Then funeral, also there is that funeral benefit that they give some amount for the funeral. Hospitalization to insured person. Then maternity benefit, those who are covered under the ESI will not be applicable. That Maternity Benefit Act will not apply. Now, this again, penal provisions are the same as PF. Then we have the Gratuity Act. Now, gratuity is also like something like pension. You work for say about 20 years, then you get 10 months of salary. So this is payment in respect of every establishment where there 10 or more employees are there. So somehow people try to keep it less than 10. So suppose in a shop or establishment, any this thing has 10 or more employees, then Gratuity Act applies. Now, once it is applicable, even if you have less than 10, it is not, you cannot escape from the Gratuity Act. Now, the calculation is monthly salary divided by this. Actually, you can take it as 50% salary, but only thing is the monthly salary has to be divided by 26 because of a Supreme Court judgment. That suppose gratuity payable at 6,000 divided by 26, multiplied by 15, multiplied by 12 number of years of service, you get so much gratuity. Now, the maximum limit today for gratuity is 20 lakhs. So up to 20 lakhs it can be given. Now, one important thing is gratuity, unlike other labor laws, is applicable even to a general manager of a company. Number one man, if he, as long as he's shown as if he's employed, then he's entitled for gratuity. And now even teachers are covered by virtue of a Nagpur. It started with the Nagpur bench. Asif Bhai will this thing that from Nagpur it started, and now teachers all over Maharashtra are also covered. Now, the entitlement is 5 years and more, the person will be covered. And in case of death and disability, there is no question of limitation of 5 years. Now, after rendering 5 years, he's entitled for gratuity upon termination, resignation, or retirement. Now, the total ceiling, as I said, is now 20 lakhs with effect from 29th of March 2018. And gratuity again cannot be attached to even in an execution of any court decree. So even if there's a court decree, you cannot attach a gratuity. Gratuity has to be given. Now, forfeiture can be done of gratuity in case of righteous and disorderly behavior or act of moral turpitude. Now, it can be wholly, or it can be in case there is now maramari and there is a riot, this thing, and the person is terminated. Main important thing is it should be terminated to forfeit the gratuity. But there again, there are rules which have to be followed. Like show cause notice has to be issued, inquiry has to be held. Now, next is maternity benefit. Now, this is to regulate employment of women in certain establishments before and after childbirth to provide maternity and certain other benefits. Now, this recently there is an amendment. Now, the women who are directly working in the establishment, whether temporary, unmarried, eligible, actually expecting a child, and has worked for at least 80 days in 12 months immediately preceding the date of delivery. Now, important is there is now an amendment with effect from 2017. It has been made 26 weeks, that is 8 weeks before delivery and 8 weeks after delivery. And 1 month additional pay is given. Now, in case of miscarriage also, 6 weeks pay has to be given. Now, these are the benefits and privileges. Now, here the important thing is, even if there are 10 or more, now this is applicable where there are 10 or more employees. Now, again, maternity, in case of surrogacy, also they are eligible. And employees who are earning less than 21,000, if they are covered by ESI will pay. In other cases, the employer has to pay. Now, this also can be covered by insurance. Now, important thing is during the maternity, when the person is undergoing maternity, employer has to be very sensitive. He cannot dismiss during during absence on account of pregnancy, or when the person is getting maternity benefit, MB or maternity leave. So except now, even for gross misconduct, they cannot be deprived. Now, the important thing in 1917 was the creche was to be provided where an establishment is having 50 or more employees. Now, this 50 or more employees, it is possible that there may be only 2 female employees. But if there are 50 or more employees in a particular establishment, then you have to provide a creche. Now, and there are various methods in which you have to control that creche. Now, next is payment of wages. Now, here this is applicable where that 24, when salary is 24,000. Now, here the important thing is payment of wages have to be made by the 7th of the month in case there are less than 1,000 workmen, and by the 10th of every month in case there are more than 1,000 workmen. So this is the most important. And the next important thing in payment of wages is what are the permissible deductions. Now, what are the permissible deductions? Means what can you deduct from a salary? You cannot deduct everything and anything. You have cultural program, this program, suddenly employer decides to do, you can't do that. Now, these are only the statutory deductions that you can deduct. The first is, if you are paid more, overpayment of wages, amenities and services provided employer, housing loan and other things, statutory payment like income tax and court orders, this, then contribution to cooperative societies, life insurance, absence from duty, and fines. So these are the things that you can deduct as far as payment of wages. Now, bonus. Now, bonus, every factory wherein 10 or more persons are employed, every factory, and in an establishment where 20 or more, bonus is payable. But nowadays, there is a customary bonus. Now, if you have been paying bonus over a period of time, even if there are less than 20, which people normally pay, then it becomes customary bonus and you have to continue to pay. In practice, some bonus is paid by employers. It acquires a legal status. Customary bonus has to be continued. Now, the calculation of bonus, of course, that we need not go into that today. Now, bonus can also be forfeited for fraud, riotous, disorderly behavior, theft, misappropriation, misconduct, causing financial loss to the employer. Now, Minimum bonus that is payable is 8.33. That is one salary. One salary is the minimum bonus attached to it. That is the Kadilkar formula which had come way back in 1973 when Indira Gandhi's government was there, 71 or 72. That Kadilkar formula had come. R.K. Kadilkar was the labor minister at the Union Pradesh. So that formula was prescribed 8. Earlier it was 4%. With Kadilkar's formula, it became 8.33. So every person today, anywhere in the country, has to give 8.33, it's almost 1 month's salary. But then again, there is a cap on that salary. Now, cap is 7,000. Now, for the purpose of calculation of 8.33, his salary should be taken as 7,000 rupees, not more than that. If he's getting more, even if he's getting now, the limit for a person to get bonus is 21,000. But 21,000 is not, we're not 8.33, not on 21,000, 8.33 on 7,000. But a person who's getting even up to 21,000, he is entitled for bonus at the rate of 7,000, 8.33. Then time limit is before August of every year. Now, minimum wages is something which most of the employers do not give. They give, okay, 5,000 le lo, and that's the end of it. Now, government has fixed up minimum wages, has notified minimum wages for different types of industries. It's a commercial established something, engineering industry something, then pharmaceutical industry some minimum. So this has been given. There is a basic rate of wages, a variable DNS allowance, and various other concessions. For instance, in the hotel industry, they have a basic wage, variable DA, but they also have a food value, whereby they can give food and deduct it from the wages. There are scheduled employments. There are at least about 40, 50 scheduled employments, and the government takes the exercise of revising minimum rates of wages for each of these industries. Actually, they now might consolidate the new, this is coming, code is coming, which is going to consolidate everything. Now we'll come to the important thing of sexual harassment of women at workplace and prevention, prohibition, and redressal. This is called the POSH Act. Now, the important thing, this act has assumed great importance now. And today there are a number of cases in industry. If you look at any industry, in every industry there is one case of sexual harassment. And the people who come, women sometimes misuse also this, which has been the subject matter of controversy. And now, what is sexual harassment versus physical contact and advances? The demand for requests for sexual favors. Now, this is making sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, or any other untoward physical, verbal, or non-verbal sexual conduct of sexual nature. Now, this includes. It's not an exhaustive definition. It is the definition which is an inclusive definition. Now, there is an aggrieved woman, a woman who is subjected to this. Then there's an employer. This is the definition. Employer includes any establishment. Then, moment all these things happen, an internal committee has to be in place of every establishment today, including public sector, where an internal committee, that's called the ICC. And definition of workplace is very wide. Even if a lady comes from outside, she cannot be subjected to sexual harassment. So that is very important. Now, the internal committee should be presided over, there's a presiding officer who should be a woman, a senior woman. Then members, minimum 2 from employees and 1 from an NGO. Now, 1/2 of the committee should be women. Now, these are very, very important things which have to be followed. If this is not followed in this fashion, then the entire this thing gets vitiated. Now it starts with what? A complaint of sexual harassment by the woman to the internal complaints committee, ICC. Now that has to be done within a period of 3 months. Now there is a provision for extending by condonation of delay, but only up to another 3 months. Now conciliation should be initiated by the ICC before initiating an inquiry, or it should go ahead and hold an inquiry. Now, the inquiry has to be held against the person who has been complained against under the service rules applicable to the employee. Now, once the inquiry starts, the inquiry has to be in accordance with the principles of natural justice. An opportunity has to be given to the respondent to explain. Then examination of witnesses on both sides. Then finding. This is normally how an inquiry is held. Now, recommend punishment to the management or police action And it can be both also. One is punishment can be recommended, and they can recommend police action also. But there is a provision for appeal against an order of the ICC. It is not that this is so automatically they can go and file, but the appellate authorities, as per the service rules, or the appellate authority under the standing orders. These are a number of cases which have come up and which are now today in this thing. So NGOs are also, several NGOs are also involved in a number of this thing. As I said, that the ICC committee members, minimum from employees and one from an NGO. So every ICC committee which is there in a company has to have this composition. Now, of course, in the Supreme Court also there were cases of sexual harassment, but unfortunately the committee that was appointed was not in tune with the provisions of the Act. But ultimately, the Supreme Court, as Krishna says, is correct. Is correct not because it is right, but because it is final. That's what they said. Then Apprentice Act, of course, we need not. Now there are changes in labor laws. So there are three codes which have come: Code on Labor, Code on Wages, which has replaced for Payment of Wages Act, which has replaced four labor laws: the Payment of Wages Act, Minimum Wages Act, Payment of Bonus, and Equal Remuneration. Then the next is the Industrial Relations Code. Again, that is Industrial Disputes Act, Trade Unions Act, and Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act. Then the Social Security has replaced 9 laws. That again is a code on Social Security. Now, unfortunately, the rules have not been framed, and therefore this has, not yet is not yet in operation. Now, termination can be by employers and employees. Different types of termination: resignation, abandonment of employment, automatic termination, voluntary retirement. Now, as per the terms of the contract, now the important thing in resignation is acceptance of resignation is very important. If you merely say that somebody has given a resignation and you keep it pending, that man has a right to withdraw the resignation. So that is an important aspect. Now, forced resignation, there are a number of employers who just force them to give resignation. That can be challenged in a court of law, in a labor law. Now, abandonment of employment. If a man stops coming for a long period of time, it is incumbent on the employer to send a notice. You cannot sit at home and say he himself has left his job. He may come after 6 months. In the past, there used to be people who used to go to Saudi Arabia or Gulf and then come back after 1 year or 2 years and then say, where is my job? And then there are cases where they have been reinstated also by the courts because the employer has not sent a notice and conducted the inquiry by the procedure that has to be followed in law. So you cannot straight away strike off a name of a muster roll from the muster roll merely because he has abandoned his employment. Now, this automatic termination is also there in the service listing, but the principles of natural justice are engrafted in those clauses that your services are liable to be terminated within 24 hours. Is there? But can you do it? You can't do it. You will have to give him a show cause notice why you are terminating his services, and then this thing, because the principle, as they say, the principles of natural justice are engrafted in those rules. Voluntary retirement scheme. Now here, again, VRS is another mode of getting rid of an employee. Then termination by employer, different: simple discharge, fixed term contract, continued ill health. If a man remains ill for a very long time, he can also be terminated straight away. Then dismissal for misconduct, retrenchment, closure, superannuation. And simple discharge. Loss of confidence is one of the aspects that you can distinguish. But only thing is, simple discharge should not be arbitrary. Reasons are necessary. Anyway, in labor, most important thing is show cause notice has to be given at every stage and get his explanation, then you sack him. That's a different matter. Now a new concept has come over a period of time in the last couple of years. There is a fixed term contract. People don't want this thing. Like, for instance, you need some people for a particular job, which is going to take 5 years. Then after that, what do I do with them? So you give them a fixed term contract for 5 years. Like road building is there. That road building or construction, this thing is of something is there that you require him for 5 years or 6 years. Give him a fixed term contract, and automatically services can be terminated thereafter. Now these are the terminations. This thing. Now then we have these are various thing of how you can terminate the service of an employee. Now, outsourcing is another aspect which has assumed very great importance. Today, nobody wants their headcount to increase, and therefore there is a process of outsourcing all the jobs. Outsourcing is like giving it to a contractor who will do a job work, like for canteen, security, housekeeping, and that job is entrusted to a third party. Now, in that case, what happens is ultimately tomorrow, if you don't want that person does not do a good job, you just cancel the contract and appoint somebody else. So this outsourcing is the whole world is outsourcing. Everywhere, nobody wants people on their as their head count, and therefore outsourcing is an important aspect in labor law, which has now come into it. I mean, with the judgment of Steel Authority, which has given legal sanctity to contract labor, that has emboldened employers to now go in for outsourcing. And today, the courts cannot remove contractors. It is only the government under Section 5 of the Contract Labor Act that can abolish contract in a particular industry. Now, even if an employer keeps the employees on contract, it is okay. The court cannot abolish that contract labor. It can only the government has the right under the Contract Labor Act to abolish contract in that particular industry, not in that particular establishment, industry. Now, for instance, if it is air transport services, then in air transport services only they have to totally abolish contract labor. So that is how things are. Now this is how the principal. They see there are two types. So one is principal employer and contractor, and second is on principal to principal basis. Now, principal to principal basis is on the basis where the job of that contractor is to provide a particular service to different industries. Then you have a principal to principal this thing. So that's all a little more technical. We can go into it some other time. Now, global situation is creates new opportunities. Canteen, security, housekeeping service outsource, specialized quality service you get, competitive rates, and generates employment. Now, the impact is lowers the costs, can compete globally, employers can concentrate on the core activity, improves efficiency and risk, and creates a large amount of. Okay, thank you, Gauri. I have to rush through, but since time is short, I've tried my best to cover up as many topics as possible. I thank Gauri and for having for a constant follow-up and meticulous planning this webinar. Thank you very much.
Rohit, can you show the certificate, please? This is Senior Advocate Ashok Shetty ji for contributing as a speaker in Law and Policy Talk series. Sir, we would like to present this award to you. Thank you so much for being there.
Thank you for the certificate.
We'll send you digitally. So, friends, we have our next speaker also with us. Before that, I would like to let you know that please keep on giving comments on the chat box. Please also give your questions, whatever queries you want. As you saw, we had a wonderful talk with Ashok Shetty ji. So elaborately, he has given us wonderful presentation of. I really remembered my college days. I have also done the labor law. One of my subject was along with international law, and I find it always very interesting. Also, it was very knowledgeable and interesting. I'm sure we all have enjoyed it. Now we go ahead with our second speaker. But before that, all of you all, please remember, also go on the YouTube if you all have missed any of our serials, and please subscribe. We have with us a very young and dynamic advocate from Madhya Pradesh, Shri Jitendra Jadwani. He has done his, again, today both of them are science graduate, BSc and also MA also in sociology. So a combination of science and arts. And he has done his LLB from Barkat Ullah University, Bhopal, and registered himself in the Madhya Pradesh State Bar Association in 1999. Is working in Madhya Pradesh High Court, District Court, Bhopal State Consumer Commission, Bhopal, and he's also with many social NGOs. Especially presently, is holding the post of National President Youth Wing, Akhil Bharat Sanyukta Adi Vakt Manch. Well, this manch is basically to help our advocate brothers. So he has been doing a lot of work to see that for the welfare of our advocates, for the medical policy of our advocates, and they go to the court also and to other places where they can help along with the Bar Association. So today we have a wonderful personality with us, and with great honor and delight, I would like to welcome Advocate Jitendra Jadwani ji, all the way from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. He's here. We, with great honor, welcome you, Jitendra Jadwani ji. Please, we would look forward for your speak on era post RERA. It is era post RERA.
Namaskar. It is very great. Today we have a international cooperative day. And this is the best webinar for cooperation system. So rebuild better together. The ideal way to this webinar is the ideal piece of this. With the permission of Madam Guliji, I am starting my topic on this webinar. My topic is era post RERA. As we all know, how the Adi Manav life started and developed with this development, the foundation of civilization started. Civilization have distinctly different settlement pattern from other societies. The word civilization is sometimes simply defined as a living in cities. Now the question is how the civilization started. The development of agriculture, which fundamentally changed the human lifestyle. As we all are Indians, so the Indus civilization is a priority to talk here. Crops were cultivated by 6000 BC along with domesticated cattle, cultivation of cereal crops, and the domestication of animal, where wheat and barley were the first crop, and sheep and goat were domesticated in Indus Valley. These cultures gave birth to the invention of wheel and mathematics. Bronze working, sailing boats, the pottery, wheel, utensils, woven cloths, construction of monuments, buildings, and the most important is writing. Scholars now recognize that writing may have independently developed in at least 4 ancient civilizations. Farming permitted for denser population, which in time organized into states. Agriculture also create food surplus that could support people not directly involved in food. Development as agriculture permitted the creation of the first cities. These were centers of trade, manufacturing, and political power. Cities established a symbiosis with their surroundings, countrysides, absorbing agriculture products and providing in return manufactured goods and varying degrees of military control and protection. The development of cities was synonymous with the rising of civilization. Early civilization arose first in Lower Mesopotamia, followed by Egyptian civilization, along with the Nile River, the Harappa civilization in the Indus River Valley, as we all know, well, Sindhu Ghati ki Sabhyata in present days India and Pakistan. The Chinese civilization, along with Yellow Rivers, these societies developed a number of unifying characteristics, including a central government, a complex economy and social structure, sophisticated language and writing system, and distinct culture and religions. Writing facilitated the administration of cities, the expression of idea, and the preservation of information. Entities such as the sun, moon, earth, sky, and sea were often deified. The Bronze Age is a part of a 3-age system. First is Stone Age, second is the Bronze Age, and third is the Iron Age. That was some part of the word described effectively the early history of civilization. During this era, the most fertile area of the world saw city-states and the first civilization developed. There were concentrated in fertilizer river valleys, the Tigris, Ethiopia in Mesopotamia, the Nile in Egypt, Indus in Indus subcontinents, and Yellow River in China. Pertinent to mention here that the civilization was advanced, developed in this era in the Indus Sindhu civilization. On a study of various research, Mohenjo-daro was found the best and advanced development of city society with the brickworks, pools, and most important is sewage system was found in culture. Transport were facilitated by waterway, by river and seas. This era also saw new land technologies such as a horse-based cavalry, chariots that allows armies to move faster. These developments led to the rise of territorial states of empires. As we all know, Chandragupta Mauryas, Rajputs, Marathas, Mughals, and British rule. Now, the 21st century has been marked by growing economic globalization and integration with consequent increased risk to interlink economies, as exemplified by the Great Recession of the late 2000s and early 2010s. This period has also seen the expansion of communication with mobile phones and the internet, which has caused fundamental social change in business, politics, and individual personal lives. Worldwide competition for resourcing has risen due to growing population and industrialization, especially in India, China, and Brazil. The increased demand are contributing for civilization and housing requirement very much. अब हम इस एरा से निकलकर रेरा की ओर चलते हैं। जैसा ही हम जानते हैं कि मानव के लिए रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान एक बेसिक नीड है, जिसमें सरकार के द्वारा हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल नेशन स्कीम अडॉप्ट किया हुआ है। इस स्कीम में मकान की डेफिनेशन दी गई है, एक मकान जिसमें परिवार के सदस्य रहते हैं, एक स्नेह रहता है और जो सिक्योरिटी, सेफ्टी, रिलैक्स, सोशल स्टेटस की भावना को देता है। देश की विशाल पॉपुलेशन है जिसमें तेजी से बढ़ोतरी हो रही है, सोल हाउसिंग की डिमांड है, स्प्लिट ऑफ जॉइंट फैमिली है, इंक्रीजिंग ऑफ हाउस कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट है, प्रॉफिट ऑफ लैक्स है, कॉपरेशन लैक ऑफ ऑपरेशन है, गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज हैं और फॉरेस्ट की जो है बर्बादी है। ऐसे कई कारण हैं जो हाउसिंग की प्रॉब्लम को इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल स्कीम लॉन्च की हुई है जिसका ऑब्जेक्ट है अफोर्डेबल हाउस प्रोवाइड करना है। 10th प्लानिंग की रिपोर्ट के अनुसार आज भी 2,47 हाउसेस की रिक्वायरमेंट है। हाउसिंग समस्या इतनी बड़ी है कि अकेले सरकार द्वारा इसे निपटना संभव नहीं है, इसलिए प्राइवेट निजी क्षेत्र की मदद ली जा रही है और इसी रिक्वायरमेंट को फुलफिल करने के लिए रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में बहुत चेंजेस आए हैं। रियल एस्टेट की फुलफिलमेंट के लिए कई बिल्डर्स और प्रमोटर्स ने कई प्राइवेट प्रोजेक्ट्स को लॉन्च किया है और इस कारण से इस सेक्टर में एक इन्वेस्टमेंट का बूम आया और मनी मल्टीप्लाई फास्ट होने के कारण इसमें कई बैरियर्स भी बन गए, जिसमें कंज्यूमर्स को परेशान किया जाने लगा और डेवलपमेंट को इग्नोर किया गया है। कई प्रोजेक्ट्स को लॉन्च कर दिया जाता है, प्लॉट्स और हाउसिंग को किसी को बुक करके किसी और को दिया जाता है, कस्टमर को पता नहीं चलता। आपने कई बार सुना और पढ़ा होगा कि कई प्लॉट्स की कई रजिस्ट्रियां हो जाती हैं, फ्लैट प्रोजेक्ट्स को लॉन्च कर बुकिंग अमाउंट ले लिया जाता है और प्रोजेक्ट्स को क्लोज कर दिया जाता है। इस तरह की कई इरेगुलरिटीज हो रही हैं। इस कारण से रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में जो भी अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर होने लगा है और कंज्यूमर्स का नुकसान होने लगा है, इसलिए ये रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेशन एंड डेवलपमेंट एक्ट बना है, जिसे शॉर्ट टर्म में हम रेरा एक्ट कहते हैं। इसमें रियल एस्टेट के एस्टैब्लिशमेंट के लिए इस सेक्टर में कंज्यूमर के इंटरेस्ट की सिक्योरिटी, इफिशियंसी और ट्रांसपेरेंसी और डिस्प्यूट्स को एडजुडिकेट मैनेजमेंट के साथ स्पीडी डिस्प्यूट रिड्रेसल करने के लिए अपीलेंट ट्रिब्यूनल इस एक्ट में है, ताकि इसमें प्लॉट्स, अपार्टमेंट्स और हाउसेस आदि कस्टमर्स को मिल सके। Real estate sector is one of the core sector in the economy in terms of its contribution to GDP, employment of labor force and the multiplicity of business goods. अब क्वेश्चन ये उठता है कि इसकी जरूरत क्या है। इसमें कोई शक नहीं कि रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में देश में हाउसिंग और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की डिमांड को फुलफिल किया है, एक कैटालिटिक रोल भी प्ले किया है। रिसेंट ईयर्स में इस सेक्टर में एब्सेंस ऑफ प्रोफेशनलिज्म और स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन और लैक ऑफ कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन के कारण रेगुलेट रहा है, जिसके दुष्परिणाम हमें देखने को मिल रहे हैं, जिसमें कंज्यूमर को काफी पैसा देने के बाद भी बेसिक सुविधाएं नहीं मिलती हैं। कंस्ट्रक्शन बहुत ही लो क्वालिटी का घटिया होता जा रहा है, बेसिक अम्यूनिटीज जो कि बनाई जाती हैं नहीं मिलती हैं, सोसाइटीज का मेंटेनेंस नहीं होने से हाउसिंग पर बहुत बुरा असर हो रहा है। हालांकि कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट की सुविधा है, लेकिन वो बहुत बेसिक लेवल पर है, जिससे कोई प्रभाव इस डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो रहा है। और वैसे भी कंज्यूमर कोर्ट्स के अंदर बहुत सारी पेंडेंसी है, ओवर बर्डन होने से वहां से जस्टिस मिलने में डिले हो रहा है। जिससे इसका विपरीत प्रभाव रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर पे हो रहा है और उसका डाउनफॉल हो रहा है। ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ बिल्डर्स की गलती हुई है, कई बार बायर्स भी बिल्डर्स को पैसा नहीं देते हैं, पोजीशन नहीं लेते हैं, एक्स्ट्रा काम कराने के बाद पेमेंट्स नहीं देते हैं, बिल्डिंग परमिशन कंप्लीट हो जाने के बाद रजिस्ट्री नहीं कराते हैं। बहुत से बहुत कारण हैं। इसी कारण से यह रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेटरी बिल को लाया गया है, जिसमें अतिरिक्त अकाउंटेबिलिटी को महत्व दिया जा रहा है। कस्टमर के साथ हो रहे फ्रॉड, एक्स्ट्रा कॉस्ट और प्रॉपर्टी पोजीशन में डिले को रोकने का प्रयास दोनों ओर से हो सके, जिसमें दोनों पक्षों की जवाबदेही को सुनिश्चित किया जा सके और एक विश्वास का माहौल पैदा हो, जिससे रियल सेक्टर का को नई ऊंचाई प्राप्त हो सके। कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल कंडीशंस पर मिनिमम स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी और डिस्प्यूट रेजोल्यूशन मैकेनिज्म को फास्ट ट्रैक पर लाए जाने के लिए यह एक्ट काम करता है, ताकि रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर का स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन और प्रोफेशनलिज्म किया जाकर आगे आने वाले समय में इस एक्सेलरेटर ग्रोथ किया जा सके और लंबे समय तक इस सेक्टर की डिमांड बनी रहे, जिससे निवेश या इन्वेस्टमेंट किया जा सके। इस एक्ट में कई इंटर अलिया प्रोविजंस हैं, जैसे बिल्डर्स और एजेंट्स का रजिस्ट्रेशन बहुत जरूरी है। बिना रजिस्ट्रेशन कोई भी प्रमोटर किसी भी प्रॉपर्टी को किसी भी तरह का ऑफर नहीं दे सकता है, न सेल के लिए दे सकता है, न बुकिंग के लिए दे सकता है। और अगर इसका कोई ब्रीच किया जाता है तो उस पर डिस्चार्ज ऑफ ऑब्लिगेशन पर लेजिस्लेशन के तहत कार्रवाई कर पेनल्टी या लेजिस्लेटिव एक्शन में फाइन या अदर डिस्क्रिशनरी ऑर्डर डायरेक्शन दिए जाने प्रस्तावित है। कंपोजिशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी में एक चेयरपर्सन और 2 होल टाइम मेंबर्स होंगे। चेयरपर्सन अपर सेक्रेटरी रैंक का होगा और हाउसिंग फील्ड में काम किया हुआ होना चाहिए। एक टेक्निकल मेंबर रहेगा, एक लीगल मेंबर रहेगा। इस तरह से 3 मेंबर्स की टीम रहेगी जो डिसाइड करेगी। अथॉरिटी अपने पावर को अप्रोप्रिएट गवर्नमेंट के साथ मिलकर सेक्टर को प्रॉपर रेगुलेट करेगी। अथॉरिटी प्रॉपर गवर्नमेंट के साथ मिलकर रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर को डेवलप करेगी और एक वेबसाइट पब्लिकेशन के लिए करेगी, जिसका मेंटेनेंस करेगी, जिसमें सारे रियल एस्टेट के प्रोजेक्ट्स और उनके डॉक्यूमेंट्स, उनका बेसिक रजिस्ट्रेशंस, उनकी प्राइसिंग पूरा डील प्रिस्क्राइब होना जरूरी है। अथॉरिटी यह भी इंश्योर करेगी कि प्रोमोटर्स, अलॉटीज और एजेंट्स ऑब्लिगेशंस का लीगली कंप्लायंस करें। एक एडवाइजरी काउंसिल को एस्टैब्लिश कर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को रिलेटेड सब्जेक्ट पर एडवाइस और रिकमेंड करे, जैसे लेजिस्लेशन का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कैसे किया जाए, मैनेज क्वेश्चन ऑफ पॉलिसी है, कंज्यूमर के राइट का प्रोटेक्शन है, रियल एस्टेट की ग्रोथ और डेवलपमेंट कैसे किया जाए। अथॉरिटी और एजुकेटिंग ऑफिसर के डायरेक्शंस, ऑर्डर्स, डिसीजंस, रियल एस्टेट अपीलिंग ट्रिब्यूनल का एस्टैब्लिशमेंट करना है। एजुकेटिंग ऑफिसर के डायरेक्शंस, ऑर्डर, डिसीजंस का कंपनसेशन करना है और पेनल्टीज को कंप्लायंस करने के लिए पावर देना है। To empower the appropriate government to supersede the authority on certain circumstances specified, and also empowered to issue directions to the authority and both report and returns from it. For all these, इन सब के लिए ये बिल 2013 में सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में, कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट में मोहम्मदन सरकार के द्वारा ये प्रस्तावित किया गया था और लाया गया। अब रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेटरी डेवलपमेंट एक्ट 2016 में पार्लियामेंट ऑफ इंडिया में आया, जिसमें राज्यसभा में 10 of 2016 को आया, लोकसभा में 15 of 2016 को आया और इसका इन्फोर्समेंट 1 May of 2016 को है। और इसमें नोटिफाइड 10 चैप्टर्स और 92 सेक्शंस हैं। इसमें 10 चैप्टर्स में सबसे पहले फर्स्ट में प्रिलिमिनरी है, प्रिलिमिनरी में के बाद इसमें सेकंड में डेफिनेशन है। सेक्शन 2 डेफिनेशंस में बहुत ही डिफाइन किया गया है, जैसे एओ, एडवर्टीजमेंट, एडवर्टीजमेंट कैसे किया जाएगा, कैसे पब्लिसिटी और अपार्टमेंट के बारे में बताया जाएगा, उसके फोटोग्राफ्स कैसे दिए जाएंगे, पर्सन टू पर्सन परचेज, सेल, सबके बारे में डिटेल दिया जाएगा। एग्रीमेंट ऑफ सेल प्रोमोटर्स और अलॉटीज के बीच होगा। अलॉटीज की डेफिनेशन दी गई है, अपार्टमेंट्स की डेफिनेशन दी गई है, आर्किटेक्ट्स का डेफिनेशन दिया गया है, अथॉरिटी के बारे में बताया गया है कि कैसे एस्टैब्लिश होगी, कैसे इनकॉर्पोरेट होगी, कैसे कंपनी। मोर इम्पोर्टेंट, कारपेट एरिया, नॉट यूजेबल फ्लोर एरिया ऑफ द अपार्टमेंट के बारे में पूरा डिस्क्रिप्शन आपको देना पड़ेगा। चेयरपर्सन, कमेंसमेंट ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट, common area like a basement stairs, lift, lobby, play area, park, fire escape, water tank, motor ducts, and all apparatus connected with installation of common uses, safety, security, इन सबको include किया गया है. Completion certificate, days which are notified by the government, development, estimated cost, external development work, garage. Most important is interest. Interest is payable both side from allottees and promoters on the same rate of interest which is fixed in the agreement. Person who developed promoters के बारे में कहा गया है. Promoters definition है person who develops land into a project, constructs structure on any of the plot for purpose of selling to other persons of the projects. Real estate agents का definition दिया हो गया है. More important is section 1. इसके बारे में पूरा definition दिया गया है जो section 2 में हमें देखने को मिलता है. अब जो main important part है वो इस act का है कि वो registration of real estate project and real estate agents ये must है. अगर ये नहीं किया जाता है तो इसका ब्रीच करने पर पेनल्टीज भी है. रजिस्ट्रेशन में इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि आपको लास्ट 5 इयर्स का प्रोजेक्ट प्रेजेंट स्टेटस देना पड़ेगा, पेंडेंसीज को बताना पड़ेगा, लैंड का डिटेल सपोर्टेड बाय एन एफिडेविट. मोर इम्पोर्टेंट कि 70% ऑफ अमाउंट विल बी रिलीज्ड फॉर प्रोजेक्ट एंड रेस्ट विल बी डिपॉजिट इन बैंक. Every 6-month audit report by CA, revocation of registration. More important is agents ka registration is important, and agents ki duties are not involved in any unfair rate, no fault representation, and facilitate the possession of booking. ये सब हमें section 3 to 10 के अंदर define किए गए हैं. Now functions and duties of promoters. Quarterly up to date. The books, list of members, numbers of garage book, sale, list of approval token, status of project, advertisement on RERA websites, detailed information, sections plan, layout plan, along with specification, civil infrastructure, water tank, electrical, sanitation, इन सब के लिए definition दिया गया है. Obligation of promoters in case of transfer of real estate projects to the third party, इसका भी definition दिया गया है. Title of transfer of titles कैसे किया जाएगा, returns of amount and compensation. Basically ये allottees के लिए important है कि अगर किसी allotee को उस project में नहीं रहना है तो section 18 के अंदर वो अपना amount refund कर सकता है, ले सकता है. Right and duties of allottees है section 19 के अंदर आ रहा है. रियल एस्टेट अथॉरिटी के अंदर सेक्शन 31 के अंदर कंप्लेंट फाइल करना होता है और इसमें अथॉरिटीज के पावर हैं 36 के अंदर जो इंटरिम रिलीफ देते हैं, इशू करते हैं. अथॉरिटीज के पावर्स हैं जिसके अंदर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शन है कि जो भी डिसीजंस या ऑर्डर्स होंगे वो नेचुरल प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस को फॉलो किए जाएंगे. तो इस पर कॉमन और नॉर्मल पर्सन भी जो अथॉरिटी के पास जाकर अपनी कंप्लेंट देगा तो वो एक्सेप्टेबल की जाएगी और उसके ऊपर अथॉरिटी अपना ऑर्डर और डायरेक्शंस इशू कर सकते हैं. सेंट्रल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल बनेगा जो 41 42 के अंदर है. रियल एस्टेट अपीलेंट ट्रिब्यूनल का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है. अब इसके अंदर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात यह है कि अगर किसी प्रोमोटर के ऊपर कुछ ऑब्लिगेशंस आता है और वो उसके अगेंस्ट में ट्रिब्यूनल के पास जाता है तो सबसे पहले उसको उस कॉस्ट का या जो भी उसके ऊपर फाइन या जो भी ऑब्लिगेशन उसके ऊपर लगा है उसको उस कॉस्ट का 30% अपीलेंट ट्रिब्यूनल में पहले डिपॉजिट करना पड़ेगा. उस डिपॉजिशन करने के बाद ही उसकी एप्लीकेशन एक्सेप्ट होगी और फिर उसकी अपील आगे रन करेगी. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. और इसी पार्ट पे अलॉटी के लिए ये रिलैक्सेशन दिया गया है. अलॉटी बिना किसी डिपॉजिशन के अपनी अपील किसी भी ऑर्डर के अगेंस्ट जा सकता है और उसको उस पर डायरेक्शंस दिया जा सकता है. फिर इसमें ट्रिब्यूनल्स के पावर्स हैं जिसमें कि वो समन्स कर सकता है, enforce of attachment, examine on oath, requirement and discovery and production of documents, receiving evidence on affidavits, issues common for examined witnesses, reviewing his decisions, representation of CA, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, कॉस्ट अकाउंट और एडवोकेट्स अपना रिप्रेजेंटेशन दे सकते हैं। और इस ट्रिब्यूनल के ऑर्डर के अगेंस्ट आप हाई कोर्ट में सेक्शन 100 सेकंड अपील के अंदर आप उसको चैलेंज कर सकते हैं। अब ऑफेंसेस की बात आती है, जो कि मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग रहता है, पेनल्टीज और एडजुडिकेशन है। सेक्शन 59 के अंदर जो है फाइन्स हैं, 10% ऑफ एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट चार्ज किया जा सकता है। अगर प्रोमोटर्स ने फॉल्स इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड की है तो उस पर भी जो है उसके अगेंस्ट एक्शन हो सकता है। अगर एजेंट्स ने फॉल्स इंफॉर्मेशन दी है तो उसके कंप्लाई के लिए जो है उसको फाइन किया जा सकता है, एंड उसके 1 लाख रुपीज तक फाइन किया जा सकता है। 5% ऑफ टोटल कॉस्ट भी उसके ऊपर फाइन किया जा सकता है। अब जैसे कि प्रमोटर्स के ऊपर फाइन और पेनल्टीज हैं, इसी तरह अलॉटीज के ऊपर भी जो है सेक्शन लागू हैं कि कैसे अलॉटीज और अगर नहीं करते हैं तो पेनल्टी फॉर एवरी डे ड्यूरिंग विच सच डिफॉल्ट कंटिन्यू एंड may extend up to 5%, पेनल्टी फॉर एवरी डे ड्यूरिंग विच सच डिफॉल्ट कंटिन्यू अगर ट्रिब्यूनल इस पे जाते हैं तो इस तरह के फाइन्स भी हैं, टर्म्स भी है, इम्प्रिजमेंट भी है। तो हम ये देखते हैं कि एक कंप्लीट जो है एक एक्ट बनाया गया है जिसमें कि फाइनेंस रिपोर्ट देना है, ऑडिट रिपोर्ट्स देना है, मिसलेनियस बार ऑफ जुरिडिक्शन है, इसमें रिपीलेशन भी है कि जैसे महाराष्ट्र हाउसिंग को रिप्लेस करके महाराष्ट्र रेरा जो एस्टैब्लिश किया गया है। प्रेजेंटली एज ऑन 13th July of 2009 ऑल इंडिया में सिर्फ अरुणाचल प्रदेश, मेघालय, सिक्किम एंड नागालैंड को छोड़ के इसमें सब नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ रूल्स लागू हो चुके हैं। वेस्ट बंगाल में नोटिफाइड सिंपल लॉ कॉल्ड एज द वेस्ट बंगाल हाउसिंग इंडस्ट्री रेगुलेशन एक्ट 2017 उन्होंने रेरा की जगह लागू किया है। अब मैं कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट साइटेशंस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के भी हैं, क्योंकि अब एक्ट बना है, बहुत सारी चीजें आएंगी, कुछ अगेंस्ट भी होंगी, कुछ फेवर्स पे भी होंगी। तो इसमें ट्रिब्यूनल्स ने भी ऑर्डर्स दिए हैं, उन ट्रिब्यूनल्स के अगेंस्ट में हाई कोर्ट ने भी अपने ऑर्डर्स दिए हैं। उस हाई कोर्ट ऑर्डर्स के अगेंस्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी इस पर बहुत सारे वर्डिक्ट दिए हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का है बहुत बढ़िया डिसीजन है जिसमें कि 2020 को इनकी ऑफ टुडे होम्स एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वर्सेस अजय नागपाल comprising of a breach of justice Udayalal and Vineet Saran retired, that section 17 of RERA Act does not bar the consumer fora from which the entertained complaint by the allottees. अगर आपकी पहले की कंप्लेंट कोई रेरा कंज्यूमर फोरम में है और उसके बाद आप रेरा में शिफ्ट करना चाहते हैं तो आप दोनों तरफ से दोनों कोर्ट्स के आप रिलीफ ले सकते हैं। ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का डिसीजन जो है आया है, बहुत ही फुलफिल डिसीजन है, इसमें आपको बहुत सारे हेल्प मिल सकती है। दूसरा, पंजाब हाई कोर्ट, पंजाब एंड हरियाणा हाई कोर्ट का जो है रिसेंटली एक्सप्लेन, उसमें बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस को किया गया है। with pronouncing 2 judgments of the RERA Act shall have effect notwithstanding anything inconsistent contained in any other law. Most important इसमें जो केस था वो एक्सप्रेशन डेवलपमेंट with and 43 parties वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ हरियाणा। मतलब 44 पार्टीज ने जो है ये पिटीशन फाइल की थी और उसका डिसीजन हुआ है। ये पिटीशन जो है प्रोमोटर के ऊपर जो है 30% पेनल्टी जो इम्पोज की जाती है, लगाई जाती है, उनको सबमिशन दिया जाता है ट्रिब्यूनल में अपील करने के लिए, उसके अगेंस्ट लाई गई थी। और पंजाब हरियाणा कोर्ट ने उनकी जो है डिसमिस कर दी अपील को और उनको इस कंपनसेशन के साथ टाइम दिया कि आप टाइम ले सकते हैं लेकिन आपको ये अमाउंट पेनल्टी अमाउंट जमा करना ही पड़ेगा। राजस्थान हाई कोर्ट ने भी जो है एक विनोद कुमार वर्सेस जयपुर 22/9/2020 का सेक्शन 31 के ऊपर है कि promoter accept an amount exceeding 10% of the total cost of plot. This is mandatory requirement of the act and cannot be dispensed on compromise. आप बिना एग्रीमेंट के एक्सेस अमाउंट चार्ज नहीं कर सकते हैं। Maharashtra RERA is working very nicely, noticed very much, and core issues has been adjudicated by the Maharashtra RERA. दीपेश सिंह वर्सेस नीलकंठ कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी 30/7/2020 का है। इस पर बहुत ही बढ़िया डिसीजंस आए हैं और मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट डिसीजन में जो बात है वो ये है कि आप जो पार्किंग के चार्जेस पार्किंग है जिसमें आपने अगर कवर्ड पार्किंग किया हुआ है तो आप उसकी कॉस्ट चार्ज कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर आपकी कवर्ड पार्किंग के अलावा पार्किंग है तो प्रमोटर उस ओपन पार्किंग का चार्जेस नहीं लेगा और वो सोसाइटीज को हैंड ओवर करेगा। ये प्रमोटर का फर्स्ट ड्यूटी है कि वो सोसाइटी को बनाए और उस सोसाइटी को रन करने के लिए प्रमोटर्स दे दे। इस तरह के कई डिसीजंस हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का बीकम चटर्जी वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया है जिसमें ये कहा गया है कि बिकॉज ऑफ देयर फेलियर टू फुलफिल द ऑब्लिगेशन टुवर्ड्स द बायर्स and the series kind of fraud which has been played by them upon the home buyers, the registration of Amrpali group of companies under the Real Estate Regulation Development Act 2016 deserves to be cancelled. मतलब अगर आपने अपनी फुलफिलमेंट को नहीं किया है, आपने उस रिक्वायरमेंट्स को नहीं कंप्लीट किया तो आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी कैंसिल किया गया है और रजिस्ट्रेशन इन रेरा एक्ट is a most important and must. So I will conclude here and thank you to Gauri ji and with the cooperation of everyone. Thank you, namaskar.
Thank you, namaste. बहुत ही अच्छा रहा. It was very nice and very knowledgeable. Thank you so much, Jitendra ji, all the way from Madhya Pradesh, भोपाल से आप आए. इतना सारा अच्छा knowledge दिया हमको और बहुत अच्छा लगा सुनने में. हम आपको ऑनर करना चाहेंगे, फेलिसिटेट करना चाहेंगे सर.
Thank you.
To Senior Advocate Jitendra Jadwani ji, this is an award to you from us, from MPCC Legal Department, for contributing as a speaker, Law and Policy Talk Series 2021. Thank you so much, sir. It was really nice of you. So we go ahead. Today, all our organizing committee members, we would like to felicitate them also, since they have been really helping us in organizing the committee. So one by one, I will like to call them and we would like to show the certificate which what we are giving to them. We start with our General Secretary and I would request our Honorable Chairperson to join virtually to felicitate them. We have Advocate Vishwajit Shinde all the way from Osmanabad, from Sholapur. He's been really helping and doing social media and helping us always to take up the program very seriously. So this is for our Advocate Vishwajit Vijay Kumar Shinde. Thank you so much, Vishwajit.
Thank you, madam.
We go ahead. Do we have Ravi Jadhav here, another secretary of MPCC? Ravi Jadhav.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
We would like to congratulate Ravi Jadhav also. He's also been appointed as a co-chairman for MRCC president. Congratulations, and Ravi Jadhav.
Thank you for your support. Yeah. Thank you, love. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Qureshi,
so, yeah, Ashraf Ahmed Sheikh ji, he is also been always there to help us.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So, any of our other members are there? So
yes,
anyway,
ma'am.
Nelson
is
there. नेल्सन को फूल बताइए. नेल्सन का सर्टिफिकेट शायद तैयार नहीं होगा. फूल बताइए उनके लिए, रोहित जी. Thank you so much for you also, Nelson. We would like to felicitate you with the roses. Thank you so much. We will send you the certificate also. Okay. So I will just read out the list here of all our committee members, and certificates will follow them. Aditya Asrani and Advocate Amir Asif Kurezi, Advocate Ashfaq Samrat, Advocate Asif Kurezi, of course, sir, Advocate Chandra Kumar Bafna, Advocate Hemant Ingle, Advocate Indrajit Suryavanshi, Advocate MPCC Abhay Randevi from Nagpur, Advocate Mrs. Rajkumari Rai from Nagpur, Advocate Nelson Rajan. You're there?
Yes.
Advocate Nelson Rajan.
Yes, madam. I'm there.
Yeah. तो थोड़ा फूल दिखा दीजिए सबके लिए, या सर्टिफिकेट्स होंगे तो Congratulations, roses for you all. The certificate will
Thank you.
follow.
Thank
Advocate Vaishali from Nagpur. Then we have Fazil. We have Merlin Montero. We have Advocate Subhash. We have Advocate Legal R. Vishwajit. Rohan Phadke from our control room. We have Salim Khan, Solicitor Sanjukta, and Swati Rai. So thank you to everybody. And I would like to go ahead with the official thanks. Friends, it has been really a wonderful program what we are having, this law and policy series 2021. Asmi Bhai ji, thank you very much. Under your leadership, I could do it. I'm really grateful, first of all, to our speakers, our senior advocate, our legend, our legal luminary, Advocate Ashok Shetty ji. I'm also very thankful to Jitendra Jadwani from Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal. You all have come here and really we have got very interesting messages, your interesting talk, lot of knowledge we have received from the wonderful talks that you all gave today. I'm sure this is going to go a long way and we'll be, of course, having it in a YouTube also, which all of others who couldn't come here today to see, but surely they'll be seeing it and we'll be circulating this link to everybody. Thank you, my all committee members. It is only because this organizing committee has been with me, it was possible for us to successfully have this program. I am thankful to our chairperson once again to Ashok Shetty ji, and once again to Jitendra ji. And also today I would like Rohit, our technician, to say thank you to him. Thank you, Rohit. You have been always there to help us.
Most welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And all our presidents from different states are there, like
Thank you, Rohit.
Mr.
Most welcome,
Devi
sir.
is there from Nagpur, always there. Abhay, thank you, Abhay. You have been always there. So nice. And all other presidents. And our Patil, Achuk Patil is always there. Patil sir, thank you. So nice of you also for always being there. There are a lot of other people from Pune. We have everybody here. We have Dr. S.N. Jadhav today. Thank you, sir. And many others, some of them's names are not there. We have Ashish Singh, who is always there here. I thank you also for having always coming here and supporting us. So Rita Joshi, thank you to you also. So all the viewers who have, all of you all who have joined here, we are really grateful to all of you. And after a little bit of gap, we will again have some other new series and we'll have more speakers for you all. Shetty sir will invite you again.
Yes,
and maybe some more expertise of yours we will take.
I must thank Gauri, I must thank you and Asif Bhai for having given me this platform to express my views. In fact, I had to rush through Asif Bhai, but then there was no option. She told me only 20 minutes, but then so many slides were there, I could not really do
No
justice.
problem. Jitendra sir, we would also like to invite you again also. So we'll be having number of series and different topics. We'll be definitely having here. before I end, I would once again like Asif Kurezi ji if he wants to give some concluding remark or something.
थैंक यू गौरी मैडम, बहुत अच्छा रहा।
Thank you, sir.
सातों भी एपिसोड बहुत अच्छे रहे, बहुत अच्छे स्पीकर सबने अच्छा हमें बताया और हमारे सभी के लिए फायदेमंद रहा। मैं आपका दिल की गहराइयों से गौरी मैडम, खास तौर पे आपका, क्योंकि आपने ये 7 एपिसोड के लिए जो मेहनत की है, इसके लिए मैं आपको दिल की गहराई से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। साथ में रोहित, जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से ऑर्गेनाइज करवाया हमारे इस वेबिनार को, उनका भी दिल की गहराइयों से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। और सभी पार्टिसिपेंट, हम लोग जरूर जल्दी मिलेंगे। इसके बाद जैसे ही लॉकडाउन का थोड़ा सा काम थोड़ा खत्म हो जाता, पैंडेमिक थोड़ा सा कम हो जाता है, तो हम जरूर मिलेंगे। एक मीटिंग ऑर्गेनाइज करेंगे एमपीसीसी ऑफिस बेयरर्स के लिए, ताकि पूरा रिव्यू लेंगे, क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ, क्या 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 किया हम लोगों ने, इसका रिव्यू करके हम लोग फिर से एक बार बैठेंगे और फिर आगे की तैयारी करेंगे। अगर सपोज अगर पैंडेमिक और चालू रहता, भगवान से दुआ करेंगे कि पैंडेमिक जल्द से जल्द खत्म हो। अगर रहता है तो हम फिर से वेबिनार में और जो जो प्रोग्राम्स अच्छे अच्छे स्पीकर्स और बुलाएंगे और सभी को मतलब अच्छे तरह से और ऑर्गेनाइज करने की कोशिश करेंगे। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद मैडम। वंस अगेन थैंक यू मैडम, एंड वंस अगेन थैंक्स टू ऑल participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
I would like one minute if people from different places, one person from Nagpur to give some feedback, one person from Mumbai, and somebody from others, since this is our last finale day episode. So Rajkumari or Vaishali or Abhay, would you like to give some feedback? You're from Nagpur. Are you all there? Ravi, would you like to say something? Any feedback from anybody?
Yes,
ma'am. Yes,
I would like to say. Abhay, you go ahead.
Yes. Oh, ma'am, you have conducted very good web series. Really, I appreciate your efforts and hard work for conducting such a good and good series. And you have given opportunities to the young lawyers, especially Amir, and he has and all these speakers given a very good information on each and every topic. Really, I congratulate to you and your entire team from Nagpur NDCC. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.
First of all, I congratulate all MPCC office bearers and congratulations to madam. Hats off, madam, because since last so many episodes, means from beginning, madam has that energy. Since now you can see it's the last episode and most probably it's around 30-40 minutes it will be closed. But the energy which she had at the first episode is the same, and the energy she has now. So from my heart, I thanks for arranging such series and fantastic series, because every young lawyers need such a support from the seniors. Various subject, the series on topics are very important. Like we had RERA, we had data privacy, we had policies, and then independence of judiciary, to the prominent and eminent judge, one judge and one Supreme Court advocate were invited. That's a pleasure. And thank you, madam. Thanks again, Asif Ji Qureshi, because under his leadership, we are learning new generation advocates. We are always happy that he is inviting us, and we are always highly obliged to both of these leaders, one Asif Ji Qureshi and Advocate Gauri Chabria, because in pandemic time, everyone has this mental stress that what to do next. So this is what a lecture series will enlighten on various topics, so that it will directly impact on our practice, directly helpful for even in my practice. In like today we had Ashok Shetty ji, he was discussing on internal inquiries. So I am handling 2-3 cases in Poonawala group. So it's very helpful, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks once again. Thanks to all.
You can always speak to Ashok Shetty. He will help you. He's very humble and very friendly and very helpful to everybody.
Thank you.
That is his special nature. So Achyut Patil साहेब, तुम्हाला काय बोलायचं आहे? Ajit from Sholapur. Half minute. We don't have much time. Anybody wants to give any feedback before we end? Our speakers are also tired. They also want to.
Yes, thank you for giving me opportunity. I first of all thanks our most respected Honorable Asif Ji Qureshi sir and most respected Honorable Gauri Madam Ji for conducting such a beautiful and best seminar, webinar on the Zoom. and we have great guidance who will attend this webinars. He will directly improve his legal knowledge, and all the speakers were the great speakers and given good guidance. I thank you to our sir, our madam, and all the team and all the participants. Thank you very much.
Any ladies are there? At least one lady lawyer, if somebody can give a feedback. Sujata, Vaishali, Jyoti, anybody? Sanjukta, are you all there or have you all left?
Congratulations to you and Asif sir, ma'am. It was awesome, and no words are left to say. We expect the same things from you in the future, and you have conducted very nicely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you. Anybody else wants to give any feedback? That's it. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. I think we will show a thank you banner in the end, Rohit, before we end. Thank you very much, everybody, for being there with us, for joining, and for nicely completing this series, Law and Policy Series 2021. Thank you, one and all. Be safe, take care of yourself, be positive.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.